Hey Aries, and welcome to your August 2017 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead, and it seems like this is going to be a super huge month for you guys. Lots of really powerful energy that's really obvious and really critical for you this month. But before I get into it, if you guys will make sure that you check below that you're subscribed and check that you have hit the bell for notifications if that's something that you would like, so whenever I post a video you'll get notified, because I have all these great series planned, or what I hope will be great series planned for the future, and for hopefully some things that are popping up this month that I hope you guys will be able to watch. And I would so appreciate it if you would subscribe, or also turn on notifications for when I post. Anyway, that said, it's looking really exciting for you guys. It's looking really different for different Aries, though. You know, having the Devil, having the World, having the Magician, those three major arcana cards are really obvious and really stark energies to be dealing with. I feel that some of you Aries are either really taking like a relationship to the next level, or you're finally like jumping into the honeymoon phase of a new relationship, or some of you are experiencing like extreme turmoil as a relationship like burns to the ground. I feel like that's the contrast that I'm seeing between the Devil and the World there, and it's really quite amazing to watch. You guys are really on fire this month, honestly, because we do have a grand fire trine coming in. The sun is going into Leo. We have Saturn in Sag, and we have Uranus in Aries. So it's a huge period of time for you guys. For those of you who have Aries rising, wow, Uranus is in your first house. Saturn is in your ninth house, and the sun will be in your fifth house. So you have all of the houses of identity and travel and expression and even love affairs, children as well, all really being sparked and ignited and being transformed by a new, really strong, profound fire energy. So it's really exciting to watch, but it can be difficult to navigate in first person for sure. I feel that this is a month where you guys have to be confident, and where you really just have to take it where you can get it. You really have to light the match and put it to whichever fuse you can find. Now, some people may not find that the best advice, but I really feel like with this energy, you find yourself in a place of like regretting not having done it if you don't try to do the things that you want to do. For those of you who are wanting to do the business venture, for those of you who are wanting to like do the record deal, or wanting to start the creative project, or wanting to like ask for the promotion, now is the time. Now is the time. Hopefully we found ourselves in a place of really building throughout all of 2017 thus far, to where it's very easy to put these things into place. But even if you haven't, Aries, you are one of the signs right now who can really rely on luck and really rely on receiving the unexpected, because there's something very profitable in you. There's something very regarded by the people who are looking at you, or the people who are seeing you right now. So it's really time to capitalize on it, because once we get to the end of 2017, it may be a little bit more difficult to capitalize on this kind of energy, because we will have Jupiter going into Scorpio and Saturn going into Capricorn. So it's really going to fall back into a place where you have to like work very hard for what you get, where you can't so much rely on luck or really being huge or anything for just the sake of your energy, you know. Because honestly, this type of energy with the grand fire trine coming in is reminiscent of like when somebody goes viral for nothing, you know. When somebody, does something really ridiculous for 10 seconds and it gets caught on camera and it goes viral, and all of a sudden their lives are changed because they become like ridiculously rich because of what that gives to them. This is the type of energy that's coming in for you guys. So what do you want to do with your lives? Now is a really good time to know what it is that you want to do. And if there ever was a time to change what it is that you're doing with your life, the choices that you're making, the goals that you're striving for, now would be a time. Now is one of those times where you can sort of proverbially like jump out of the airplane of the direction that you're heading and the culmination of what you're doing, and sort of fall gracefully into the peak of another path. So it's really amazing, and my English can't even quite articulate it perfectly well, but all that I can say is there's something really powerful deep within you, Aries, that comes from a time of very difficult codependency, of really having to build your foundation from the ground up, of having to understand how people were manipulative, how you were manipulative, and ultimately having to succumb to not being very excited for life or not feeling very inspired. And it feels to me all of a sudden, and even through like the last few months, you've been building yourself into a place where you can experience this. You're sort of like the proverbial bullet in the chamber of the gun, you know, like you just have to be cocked back and the trigger has to be pulled and you shoot forward. Now, do keep in mind you can do a lot of damage with this kind of energy. A lot of damage. Mars is going into Leo, and it's a very kind of warlike energy. On the collective level, war is very possible. That's just kind of a random thing, not really having to do with you guys, but you guys are representative of the war archetype. You are ruled by Mars. You are Aries. You're representative of weaponry, of firearms, of the idea of bloodlust. You and Scorpio being ruled by Mars, but especially you guys. The Scorpio takes it from a little bit of a different perspective, but Aries is the god of war, and Mars is the god of war, and you guys are representative of all of that. So you're going to be able to do things that are from that train of thought. So be careful that you're not just like plowing people over, or that you're not just like destroying other people's lives to further your own agenda or just get where you're wanting to go a little bit faster, because it's very easy. Under this kind of paradigm, you can see that person who really gives other people a difficult situation and all of a sudden like ascends really quickly and gets everything that they want, and then a little bit of time passes and they completely lose everything. That can happen. So you just want to make sure that you're operating from a place of integrity right now. Saturn is stationary. Saturn is moving retrograde, and then it's about to go direct at the end of August here. And with that being the case, it's really easy during the time that it's stationary, when it's not moving from our vision. It's very easy to get away with murder. It's very easy to get away with seemingly no repercussions or no consequences. But then once Saturn goes direct, it kind of gives a double dose of consequences and karma and, opposite and equal reactions, stuff like that. Saturnian stuff, limitations, boundaries, but in a Jupiterian way, because it is in Jupiter's sign, it's in Sagittarius. But once it moves over into Capricorn, I feel like a lot of people are going to have a rude awakening, and it's going to be very important that we have very strong systems put into place. It's going to be very important that we've structured, and that through this explosive energy, through this fuse-like explosion that's happening with the fire trine and with the total solar eclipse and with the 2 new moons in Leo and all this crazy fire energy. So much can happen. People's lives can change under this, or people can establish an energy that gives that to them. But then once Saturn gets into Capricorn, once Jupiter gets into Scorpio, it's going to be kind of like, okay, how does this last? What have we done for ourselves that makes us last? And you guys are the epitome of this energy. It centers very much on you because Uranus is in your sign, and you are part of that. Without the Aries energy, this paradigm would not be manifested in any similar way. So you're just really a moving part of this entire musical chairs that's happening in the planetary system right now. So congratulations, because only you, Leo, and Sagittarius can really have this experience. All the other zodiac signs, of course, are going to feel it in some way. It's a very collective experience, but Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius are the ones who can really have the huge changes in circumstance, especially positive ones. So it's lucky to have that, but it comes with a lot of energetic responsibility as well. Any other intuitive messages for you guys coming forward for this month? The only thing that I see is like a fear from the past that you can't actually move forward, that you can't actually do these huge things like, I don't know, because it's like a lot of you are feeling very existential, maybe a little bit fatalistic from the past, like you're on a fixed income and you feel like it's just not really a possibility for you to really have a rapid upward mobility. It's really important to remove that boundary, because that is a blessing of Saturn stationary. You can at least remove that boundary and have the ability to transcend. And then just once Saturn gets back into action, you can own up to it. You can sort of show your status and your hierarchical experience that you've had that honors Saturn. The only danger that I see for you guys is the potential to stop yourself or inhibit yourself or think, no, that's not possible. I'm being too optimistic. I'm being too spontaneous. I'm reaching for the stars too much. I've got to clip my wings. Any mentality of having to clip your wings right now is not so good. Take this opportunity to go upwards for sure. The only other real red flag that I'm seeing for you guys as a possibility as well is a desire to like completely burn out your past or completely forget about your past. Like, this energy can really make things go away. Because that's the fire element is for sure the most like purging element. Water is as well, but fire quickly gets rid of something, whereas water kind of slowly erodes it or kind of cleanses it in a more slow way. It's like you have this a period of purging with water, whereas fire, I mean, it does burn things down, but it's a much more visceral type of experience of purging. If you guys catch my drift. For this reason, I feel that any of your pain or any of your difficulty that you've experienced in the past can very easily be destroyed or very easily be purged out of you during this time. So on one hand, you need to make space with that, but on the other hand, you've got to make sure that you're not mistaking what really needs to be purged. During energies like this, it's typical to see people walk away from people who no longer serve them. It's very usual to see somebody ixed out of your life. It's easy for you to break up with the person that you've been with for a long time. It's easy for you to become estranged from family members. So you have to make sure that that's actually suiting your cause. You have to make sure that you're not being too hasty, or there's not something about yourself that you want to burn out. Because oftentimes if you go through these periods of time where you're really cutting off communication or you're really becoming estranged, there's something within yourself that you're also trying to become estranged from. And I feel that the only issue could be is that that part of yourself that you're wanting to be estranged from is the part of yourself that is giving you this huge upward momentum. So really take some time with yourself during August, Aries, to understand what am I not happy with about myself? What do I feel inhibits me from achieving what I want to achieve? What do I feel like helps me in getting there quicker? And then you really have to really like compare those things side by side, maybe even get it down on paper and understand, am I really sure that this is how it is? Is this inhibiting me? Is this helping me? Is it maybe the other way around? We've got to be very clear on the aspects of our own inner drive and what it is that we actually want and if that's suiting us or not. So at the end of the day, it's a period of culmination for you guys, Aries. You have the world. It is reversed as your central theme, which can oftentimes be a sense of your world falling apart or your world crashing down around you, but you don't have the tower, and the other energies aren't so much supporting that. So to me, it feels like there are just a lot of things around you which needed to be purged or needed to kind of go away, which inevitably kind of do that this month, and it's best for you to keep your head high. Anyway, in the first week, to get into the week by week, you guys have the 6 of Wands rooted down by 8 of Pentacles. This is really where you have to like set the tone of the month. You have to understand what it is that you want, and you have to be prepared to go after it. 6 of Wands is about being confident. It's about being assertive. It's about knowing what you want, and it's about showing the rewards and how do you say, kind of like showing the spoils of war. I really feel like that's a lot of what you guys are experiencing in August. Like, be proud of how far you've come. Have this sense of pride. For those of you who've made the money, like, show it if you want to. I mean, it's just a way that you can work with the energy. And some of you Aries are not materialistic at all, but some of you are. So if you are, show your wealth, show what you've done, reward yourself for something, reward the people around you. If you run a business and you have employees, reward your employees during this time if you're really doing well. Show the people who are working for you or show the people who are supporting you that they're important to you, and then really reflect it to the rest of the world by showing them how important you are to yourself. Aries does this in like no other sign. So 6 of Wands is really a potent energy for you, and it always makes me think of Aries anyway. And that is rooted down by 8 of Pentacles, which says to me that you're building for the future. And again, I feel like this might block you off from the rest of the world a little bit. You've really got to balance it because you guys need to be in the public eye a little bit. You kind of need to be out there and about there, you know what I mean? But you also have to be like behind closed doors and like building and toiling for the future, because you have like this plan and you have this energy that's really giving you this amazing power. So what I really sense for you guys in August is not a lot of downtime. How can you be on the scene? How can you be in the limelight and using that to your advantage and using that to the advantage of other people too? And at the same time, how can you be in solitude and making it all happen behind the scenes too? You guys are in the spotlight and you're behind the scenes as well. So that's really amazing for me to see, because I would so much rather see that than like this depressive, I have to spend time in bed, I can't keep moving forward type of energy. So good for you guys. The first week is really great. Second week, Page of Wands reversed, you're down by Six of Pentacles reversed. I feel like this is where you've come out of the first week and you think, is this too good to be true? Is this like too much for me? Do I want to be that person? Do I want to be that person who is assertive and has their head held high and might even be gossiped about and might not be held in the best favor because of other people's jealousy? There is a very strong tendency in August, Aries, for people to see you succeeding and for them to try to cope by trying to pull you down through how they talk about you behind your back. You've got to come to a place where you don't care. A lot of you already don't. I don't find Aries to be the most thin-skinned sign. Like, you guys are usually really thick-skinned. But for those of you with something else in your chart that's really set off by the words of other people, now is a time to grow that backbone, and now is a time to understand how much is broken in the people who do that to you, and that it's really less about you than it is about them. Deeper than that, I feel that you're thinking about maybe what you lost. There's something in the second week that it's like, wow, I've come this far, and what do I have to show for it? I have these nice things, I have these nice clothes, or I have these nice experiences, or these great new employees, or these great new coworkers, or whatever's really great in your life, Aries. The contrast of how good that is compared to what you had or where you were before gets you thinking. And the second week doesn't seem that pivotal to me. It doesn't seem like it's something like really huge happening. In fact, I think that the second week might be, again, a time of planning or a time of reflection. But you can't get too stuck on it, because it doesn't seem to me that there's really an answer to how this happened. Again, Grand Fire Trine, all this fire energy, it doesn't really have a method or a formula. It just kind of happens. So if you spend a lot of time toiling on how you got where you were, or if you spend a lot of time trying to understand how people created their opinions about you, you're going to, in essence, be wasting time, because there's not a lot of explanation for it. Third week, you guys have the Devil reversed. You're down by the Magician. Most powerful week of the month for sure. This is where it happens for you, Aries. This is where you've got to set the plans into action. Even if you're not doing it, even if you're not making the career happen, or making the album happen, or the show, or there's something really like showy about Aries in August. So I feel for all of you creators out there who are like musicians or artists, or even like business owners or like producers, anything that's really creative. Like, this is so big for you. This month is amazing. But even for you guys who, and everybody does that to an extent, like regardless of what you do, even if you I don't know, even if you work in a factory for seatbelts or something, there's some kind of aspect of creative force being used there. So you just have to use it. It's like, even if you do work in the factory for seatbelts, you can like be the owner of the factory, or you can be like really high up by the end of this month in a way that you didn't expect. So capitalize on that. But the third week is probably where it happens. The third week is where something clicks into place, or something is like, wow, I found my puzzle piece. Here I am. Because there is something here that happens that's like, you have the opportunity to go back to square one, or you have the opportunity to continue the cycle of pain that you've been in for so long, and you're like, no, I am the Magician, and I have these tools laid out in front of me to prevent myself from going through these cycles. The Devil is now reversed, and I can see through it, and I'm going to take the power that I now have and kind of sidestep out of this, leave the cycle behind, and jump into the new paradigm of what my energy is. That's beautiful. And it lands you in the fourth week with Knight of Cups reversed. You're down by Ten of Wands reversed, and you realize, wow, I might have bitten off more than I can chew, but I'm so much happier to be here than I am to be stuck in this cycle of needing to be in bed and needing to rest all the time, and needing to need so much from other people, and need so much from these sources of energy which could not really be given to me at that time. So fourth week, it's good, it's not bad. Fourth week is more like the second week. There's a similarity in the first and third, and there's a similarity in the second and fourth. Where I feel that most of the obvious things happens to you in the first and third, and again, the second and fourth are more like reflectionary or more like planning. But the whole entire month for you guys, with the world being your central theme, is a culmination. It's a kind of a I get this figure of you like saluting your past, or like saluting your experience. Maybe some of you were in like a war or something. As a lot of Aries do serve time in the military. A lot of Aries have kind of a milital background. So maybe you guys have moved up in that hierarchy, or maybe you guys are finally coming home, in which case, congratulations. Some of you could be being deployed. There's an essence of like military hierarchy to all of this. Maybe some of you are just imposing that kind of idea or standard on something that's not related. Maybe your experience there has led you to develop a really good work ethic, and you're like, because for all Aries, there's been this lull. There's been this like fall. There's been this, oh, I can't do it. I don't have the energy. There's been this toil. But in August, it changes. In August, you get the match. In August, you get the spark, and you can really change your circumstances. And I see you having this moment with yourself in the 4th week. I see you having this moment with who you once were and saying, okay, it's time to say goodbye. It was nice while it lasted, even though it wasn't. But for posterity's sake, it was nice while it lasted, and I'm ready to walk into a better place. And you then have to pick up the pieces with 10 of Wands there. And it might be more pieces than you expected. You might really encounter a lot more collateral damage of the situation than you anticipated. But you still pick it up and you can still carry it. And you are kind of more undecided than anybody right now, because that's going to be so different for each individual Aries. But the way that you pick up these pieces, the way that you move forward into September is going to be really amazing to watch. And it's going to be something that in one way or another is very, the perfect word was in my head. It's very unprecedented. There's something very unprecedented about what you're doing, Aries. So you are lovely right now, and I can't wait to see you guys walking into September. If you would like to book a private reading with me and understand more about specifically what's going on here, you can click somewhere on the screen. It's the red and green link. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, I would so appreciate it if you would. Your likes, comments, and subscribes keep me going on this channel, and obviously the feedback, but that's part of the commenting process anyway, you guys. I'm feeding off of this energy. I feel it too. I have a fire trine in my own natal chart, so I'm crazy. The sun just went into Leo, and I'm like, oh, thank God, get me out of this Pluto opposite Mars, Cancer, Capricorn thing. And anyway, I'll see you guys in September. Much love to you. Bye.